What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So basketball was officially back today, man. I had a lot of fun watching some basketball games today. Just got done watching the Trailblazers game not too long ago, and I'm super happy with what I saw. But I have to say, John Wall and Demarcus Cousins looked pretty decent in their debuts for guys that haven't played basketball in quite some time, and it got me thinking, honestly. So I was like, you know what? There is a world where I've actually been a little harsh on the Rockets, but there is a world where the Rockets could be somewhat of an interesting team for the next 2 seasons, even if they trade James Harden. I'm not going to lie. If John Wall can be somewhat of his former self, or even be completely his former self, and DeMarcus Cousins, same thing. If he can be his former self, and the Rockets keep those two for the time being and have Christian Wood, there is a world where this team could be interesting for at least the next 2 seasons. They'll at least be competitive. I don't know if they'll be a championship team, but they'll at least be interesting in the West, I like to think. So I did go ahead and trade James Harden in this video just because all rumors and signs are pointing towards James Harden not wanting to be in Houston anymore. So it seems like the likely destination is for Harden to Philly. So I did make a trade with Philadelphia. And no, it did not include Ben Simmons. So I did make a trade without Ben Simmons in it. So we're going to rebuild this Rockets team today while keeping John Wall and Cousins throughout the video. So yeah, the last few Rockets rebuilds I've done, I've always traded John Wall. I've let DeMarcus Cousins walk. So I'm going to try to keep those guys. And we're going to try to rebuild this team and make this a championship team. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I at least just want to have fun with this today. So make sure you guys leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. And guys, I've been uploading on my second channel every day. If you guys are interested, link is in the description. I'll probably have a video out later today about the Houston Rockets. So without further ado, let's jump into this Rockets rebuild. So first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and go through the trade I did make with the Philadelphia 76ers to get James Harden out of here. So I don't know if the trade would look exactly like this, but let's just say, for instance, somehow a Rockets and 76ers trade happens without Ben Simmons and without Joel Embiid. So obviously, the obvious guy that would have to be in the trade is Tobias Harris. So that does seem kind of risky for the Rockets because, you know what, they're like, well, we don't know if we want Tobias Harris's contract because it is a terrible contract. But you do get 3 first-round picks out of it, Matisse Thybulle and Tyrese Maxey, and maybe there could be more. Maybe there should be less. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, this is the trade I kind of did. So obviously, Tobias Harris would have to be in it. I assume Matisse Thybulle might be in it as well if they are going to trade for James Harden. And then you got future picks going to the Philadelphia 76ers. So I like this trade for both sides, and this is what the team looks like now. So looking at this team low key though, so you got John Wall, Tobias Harris, Christian Wood, and Cousins. Christian Wood, Cousins, Harris, and John Wall are all 4 capable NBA players that can put up points a night, honestly. So I think this team could still be interesting. The Matisse Thybulle starting at shooting guard isn't bad either. So to be honest with you, even if the Rockets did trade James Harden and get Tobias Harris back, Rockets team could compete for a playoff spot in the West if John Wall is what he used to be. So I really like this roster. So you got Eric Gordon as well. You got PJ Tucker down here, Gerald Green, and also Daniel House. So we have a lot of small forwards coming off the bench. I do want to move PJ Tucker to the 4 though, just because he is going to be here for the time being. So I'm going to move him to power 4. That way he can back up Christian Wood. So I have Christian Wood and Cousins starting together. I don't know if that's what it'll look like in real life, but I'm going to do it anyway through the video. And then, yeah, like I said, we do have a lot of small forwards coming off the bench, but you know what? At the end of the day, it is what it is. I might trade a couple of these just to, let's just, for instance, trade maybe Gerald Green and Daniel House if we're going to keep Eric Gordon. So I'm going to trade Gerald Green and Ben McLemore. I'm going to trade one of these guys probably for like a backup guard, and then we'll simulate this first season. So despite me talking about how good the Rockets still could be with trading James Harden, we were trash, 29-53. And the 76ers go on to win the championship with Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and James Harden. Obviously, the Blazers also made the NBA Finals too, so that's dope. But yeah, we weren't very good. That's okay at the end of the day. I mean, our bench was trash, so I guess I'll try to blame it on that. But I mean, Cousins and John Wall had great seasons. Obviously, it didn't lead to wins, but I blame that on the bench being kind of bad. And I really hope I can re-sign Cousins. John Wall is going to stay here, obviously, under the contract he's in. And our bench was, like I said, it wasn't that good. So I'm going to make some changes there. But we are going to go ahead and get into this offseason. But the one thing I do like about this team, I would say, is that John Wall obviously hasn't been the best shooter throughout his career. But if you look at the roster around him, if they got Tobias Harris, all 3 of the guys, or like most of the guys he'd be passing to in the starting 5, if that was their starting 5, could all shoot. So, I mean, it would look okay. And then we also have a lottery pick here, which we do end up with. Actually, no, it is going to the Oklahoma City Thunder, so we do not even end up with a pick here. So that's a little unfortunate. We did get the Miami pick, though. I guess that's cool and all, but definitely would have been nice to have a. That's another reason. If you're not even having your first round pick, you might as well be competitive at the very least, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire our assistant coaches and get some other assistant coaches, because I like Steven here. And I feel bad for the man. He's had to answer a lot of questions about James Harden, and it's just really trying to, you know, obviously coach his basketball team. And he's just like getting hammered by the media about James Harden. And he just doesn't really know what to tell them. So yeah, I do feel bad. I mean, as a first-year head coach, it's not ideal, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. So you're going to have to, you know, do what you can. But we do have the 26th and the 30th pick here, which is nice. But I mean, look at this roster. It doesn't look too bad. Tyrese Maxey, Daniel House, like Eric Gordon, I think is the big hole here. I'm like, he is a solid player, but at the end of the day, how much did he average this? I think he averaged a nice 14, if I do remember. He did average, yeah, 14 points isn't bad. But at the end of the day, he is making 18 millions, which if we freed up that money, I feel like we might be able to distribute it elsewhere, but we'll have to kind of see what I would be able to get. So get Jeremy Grant at the power forward spot, but we have Christian Wood there right now. So at the end, I might just end up keeping Eric Gordon for at least for now and see what we can do in the NBA draft. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump into the draft and draft a couple players here to maybe help me out right away, or they'll just sit on the bench for a while and continue to develop. Either way, we'll be all right. So I'm going to go ahead and just draft Andre Sparks, I guess. I don't know any of those guys down here at the bottom of the draft. I'm not going to lie. So I'll the CPU deal with the rest. We got Andre Sparks and Roman Kiba coming to the Rockets. And we got player options, Matisse, Chris Clemens, and Bruno Caboclo. And then qualifying offers, we have none. And then I really want to resign DeMarcus Cousins. No matter what, I'm bringing him back to the team. But I really want him back, like, if I can just resign him outright. Just because, like I said, I want to keep him throughout the video. 15 million, we're negative 35 million off. So we might not be able to bring him back necessarily, but I'm going to try to get him back somehow. So Christian Wood, Tobias Harris. Oh, yeah, Tobias Harris is making a lot of money, obviously. So we could end up trading him. I'm going to probably trade Eric Gordon. And I did want to keep Tobias Harris, but the money, man, is just kind of, it's just kind of a hard, you know what I mean? It's just kind of tough. Mitchell Robinson, we get Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Joe Harris, making the same amount of money. Rodney Hood, who's $18 million cheaper. We get some first-round picks. We can get Malik Beasley, Draymond Green, and then there's Davis Bertans. So I can get Kevin Porter Jr., I guess, from the Cavaliers and free up some money. Sure, why not? Let's do it. We're going to go ahead and free up the money there, and that should give me a little bit more money to make a run into DeMarcus Cousins. I'm still negative 19 million off, though, at the end of the day. So I think I will have to trade Tobias Harris here. Unfortunately, I would have liked to have kept him, but we're going to have to free up the money to sign DeMarcus Cousins back. So whatever I can get out of here, that's the best package and frees up some money in order for me to sign Cousins is the offer I'm going to go with. I'm going to do this trade with the Sacramento Kings to get Buddy Hield. I think he would be a nice starter next to John Wall. Ideally, Dillon Brooks would be nice too, but I have to free up the money to get Cousins back. So I will have to trade Dillon Brooks. We're at negative 18 million off. So I'm going to have to trade Dillon Brooks and also somebody else to free up this money. So let's trade Dillon Brooks real quick. Free up. We're going to have to get just literally a pick in return. So I'm going to trade him to the Knicks for a first round pick. And then now we should almost be able to sign Cousins. We're still 6 million off, unfortunately. So who is going to be the guy I'm going to have to trade to free up the money? Christian Wood, John Wall, Buddy Hield. I want to keep those four if I can. Kevin Porter is nice. Daniel House. We don't really need, we probably don't need Chris Clemens or Daniel House, unfortunately. So I'm just going to trade him to the Bulls. And now we should be able to sign DeMarcus Cousins back. Or we're a little bit, we're 447K off. Wait, would he take a cheaper contract? Let's see. He has no offers right now. So what if I just did something like this? Okay, so he might accept that. And we do get DeMarcus Cousins back. W. So we're going to get Cousins back. We're going to sign him. And we'll have Boogie Cousins back, which was the goal at the end of the day. And then PJ Tucker wants a contract at 36 years old. So I'm going to go ahead and probably do a sign-in trade with him. So we just signed him back. And now we're going to trade the man. And I'm going to take the best package available. So we could literally get, yeah, also have a trade exception. So I got to keep that in mind. Monte Morris. Ooh, that could be a nice backup point guard to have, honestly. Because we did need guard depth. There's Jay Crowder. We can get some picks. Draymond Green. But I think I like the idea of getting Monte Morris as a backup point guard. I'm going to do this trade. I'm going to do this. We're going to have Monte Morris as a backup point guard. Tyrese Maxey is here and all. But Matisse Thybulle backing up Buddy Hield. So John Wall, Monte Morris, Tyrese Maxey right now. Buddy Hield, Matisse, Kevin Porter. Our small forward spot isn't ideal. When we look at the trade exceptions, I got to see. I'm definitely curious to see what our trade exceptions look like. So we have a 12 million and a 60 million. So 16 million could definitely get us a decent small forward, which is what I'll probably be looking for next, because I like Kevin Porter and all, but I don't really want to see him start. The small forward I'm going to go for is the guy I actually just traded earlier, and that's going to be Dillon Brooks. I think he could be solid at the small forward spot, so I'm going to do this trade, and we're not going to look back. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Dillon Brooks at that small forward spot, and boom. Now the roster looks a little bit more interesting. So John Wall, Monte Morris, Buddy Hield, Matisse Thybulle, Dillon Brooks, Kevin Porter, Christian Wood, and then DeMarcus Cousins. So we don't really have a big man right now. I am going to go ahead and fix that in free agency so we can get like another shooter off the bench in Frank Kaminsky. So I'm going to go ahead and sign the man, and boom. I really like the roster now. I really do. So I still don't know if we'll be a playoff team, but at the end of the day, I was just kind of trying to have some fun today with the Rockets, man. Keeping these guys is definitely something that's very interesting to me. And, you know, the team doesn't look too bad. Like I said, I feel like the Rockets could at least be interesting, if nothing else, for the next couple of seasons if they did, in fact, keep John Wall and Cousins around. So that's what we're kind of trying to achieve today. So far, I'm having a lot of fun with this, and we'll have to see what we look like in season number 2. At the end of the day, our rotation doesn't look too bad at all. We got John Wall, Buddy Hield, Kevin Porter will be starting, I guess. Christian Wood at the power forward, Cousins, Matisse, Dillon Brooks, Frank Kaminsky, and Monte Morris. I mean, the team, like I said, doesn't look half bad. I think we can at least be competitive in the Western Conference. That's what I'm really hoping for. So we'll just have to see what happens. I think a backcourt of Hield and John Wall would be similar to how Bradley Beal and John Wall were. And then you got Christian Wood and Cousins who can put up points in the front court. So I'm hoping, I have high expectations that this team will be a playoff team in the West. So I'm probably going to throw some more minutes Cousins' way, and we'll throw some more minutes John Wall's way. So let's just hope and pray that we find ourselves in the Western Conference playoffs. So at the end of season number 2, Trae Young does end up as your most valuable player in the NBA. Cade Cunningham, rookie of the year on the Bulls. Didn't win your 6th man. Oh, whoa, what just happened? Rookie of the year, 6th man of the year. I don't know what my controller just did, but we got defensive player Jonathan Isaac, most improved Tyrese Halliburton, and Lloyd Pierce, coach of the year, and Christopher Bell, executive of the year. So if nothing else, we were a playoff team in the West. I feel like I have put myself in a bind here by saying that John Wall and Cousins are going to be my best players throughout the video. So that might lead to me not winning a championship at all in this video, but I just thought it would be fun regardless to do a video like this. So 20 points and 11 from Cousins. So, I mean, it definitely warms my heart seeing these two succeed. Even if it is in 2K, we all know these guys have been through a lot, and it's good to see them put up good numbers. So John Wall with 19 and 9, Cousins with 20 and 11, and they're both shooting very efficiently, I hope. 28% from 3, 48% though. Buddy Hield 46, Christian Wood 36%, and Dillon Brooks 38%, Kevin Porter 35. So not too shabby. We are the 6th seed in the West, playing a very good Denver Nuggets team. So I don't know if we get past this team. We probably don't, but we're gonna try it regardless. So let's go ahead and game 1 this, and we do lose game 1. We lose game 2. We do win game 3 though, and we win game 4. Okay, so we do push the Nuggets a little bit, but at the end of the day, we are down 3-2 here. We are back in the Toyota Center though, so there is a chance we can force a game 7 here. It's close, and we are not going to force it, though. 122-107, and we do end up going home at the end of the day. So I'm going to give this one more season, though, because John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins aren't going to get like any better throughout the video. It's just the way it is. But I feel like in real life, if they can return to the form they used to be, like I said, I think this Rockets team could be interesting. But at this point, we might have some lottery picks here. They did get quite a bit of first-round picks, and look at that. We are projected 3 lottery picks. Wow, okay, so with the first pick, or hopefully we get the first pick, and we end up with number 5. So we drop from 1 to 5, which is a little unfortunate. We get 5, 12, and that's it, I think. So that's it, and then we also have 21. So 5, 12, and 21. Honestly, with the way we're rebuilding this team, though, there is a world where I might end up... Is John Wall still under contract? He's probably got a player option at this point, right? Yeah, he does. So there's a world where I might end up trading these 5, 12. So since I am trying, I don't know, man. Like in real life, I feel like the Rockets should draft here. But since I am doing the video the way I am, maybe I make some kind of crazy trade to get players that would help us. But I don't know. I don't know. Sure, or should I just draft and just say, you know what? Let's just draft. All right, 5. Let's just say 5 and 12 together. We get Drummond, RJ Barrett, Oladipo, Hassan Whiteside, Miles Turner, At the end of the day, none of these guys excite me besides Drummond, but I kind of want to give Cousins that center spot. So I'm just going to go ahead and draft here. So with the 5th pick, we are going to be grabbing, let's see, we got Jaden Hardy, we got J.D. Davidson, Jabari Smith Jr. I guess I'll take Jaden Hardy here. And then with the 12th pick, Jaden Hardy's from high school as well. We're going to be taking J.D. Davidson, who is another point guard. So I guess John Wall's successor here, maybe. We'll see. I don't really know how good those guys are. So 578, Jaden Hardy. And then number 12, we had a 75, J.D. Davidson. Okay, so not bad. We're going to sign both those guys that can hopefully be significant parts of our bench or significant parts of the Rockets' future. Of course, John Wall is going to accept that $47 million player option, obviously. Matisse, Kevin Porter, Tyrese Maxey, and qualifying offers, Vlado Kinkar, nothing. Okay, so if I want to maximize our chances of winning a championship while having John Wall and Cousins on the roster, I'm going to probably have to make some significant changes here. So I'm going to go all out this offseason. John Wall and Cousins are going to remain on the roster, but everybody else is definitely up for trade right now. And when I mean going all out, this is what I mean. I'm going to be grabbing Paul George. I know the man has been clowned a lot for what he's done, but it's Paul George at the end of the day. He is a great player. Most times he is. So I'm going to go ahead and do this trade. This is going to give me an 88 Paul George, and if we move him to small forward, he should go up to like a 90 or an 89. Not John Wall. That's not what I meant to do. Although he goes up quite a bit too, but I'm not doing that. So, actually, he's already a shooting guard, so I'm going to move him to small forward. So, we're going to have John Wall, Maxey, Monte Morris. Matisse is the shooting guard right now with Jaden Hardy. We have Paul George and Cousins, Zubac, and this center. So, we still have, honestly, do we have any free agents to worry about? But okay, so there's nothing we can do in free agency. Like, let's just say free agency is not happening at all. And then do I have trade exceptions? By proposed trade, what exceptions do I have? I have 3 million from Dylan Brooks, but I'm not worried about that. So I think we made a good trade with Paul George, but I don't think I'm done yet. I think I'm going to keep making some trades. So with this last offseason ahead of us, I still need to maximize our potential here. But I guess we're just going to turn right around and get the same 2 players we just traded for Paul George. So yeah, a little weird there, but I mean, if you're going to go ahead and offer me the same 2 players, and that's going to give us a nice little lineup, Cousins, Zubac, Christian Wood, Frank Kaminsky, Paul George, Kevin Porter, Buddy Hield, Matisse Thybulle, Tobias, or John Wall, and Tyrese Maxey. I don't know why I said Tobias, but you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it at the end of the day. Is there anything else I can do? Because we do have a lot of depth here. So if I trade like these 2, I'm just going to look kind of what's out there real quick. PJ Washington, because we could kind of give some minutes. I did take PJ Washington. Because we could kind of give some minutes to Jaden Hardy. You know what? I think I'm just going to actually roll with the team. We got Paul George. We added Paul George to the equation. So maybe, just maybe, that puts us over the top. Paul George is a very good player. And we'll have John Wall and Paul George playing together with Matisse, Christian Wood, Buddy Hield. I still, maybe, just maybe, though, if I traded Buddy Hield and Christian Wood again, I'm just curious. Zach LaVine pops up. Okay. We might have to cheese a little bit and do that trade. I'm doing that trade. We're going to get Zach LaVine, bro. We're going to grab Zach LaVine, and we're going to have Zach LaVine at the shooting guard now, Matisse Thybulle, Paul George, Kevin Porter, and then our power forward spot isn't looking fantastic, but we can take care of that here in just a second, so we have plenty of depth. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a power forward real quick, and then we are ready for this next season. We're going to be grabbing Pukovsky, or however you say this guy's name, Pukio. I don't know, man. I'm going to grab him, and he is going to be, I guess, the new power forward depth. So this team, if nothing else, is about to be very interesting, I guess. I don't really know what to expect. Paul George, John Wall, Zach LaVine, Cousins. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I'm going to give John Wall some untapped potential. I was going to throw some untapped potential at my big 3 and hope these guys just put up some good numbers. So this is what the rotation's about to look like. So John Wall, LaVine, Paul George, Pukovsky, Cousins, Matisse, Zubac, Frank Kaminsky, and Kevin Porter Jr. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited. I think this is a fine looking team. I don't really know what to expect, but let's just go ahead and simulate this final season, and hopefully we can be a top team in the West. So at the end of season number 3, we are the 2nd seed in the West, and we went 52-30. I'm pretty happy with that. Even if we don't win a championship, John Wall and Cousins being on the roster, and we end up as the 2nd seed in the West, I will take that, man. So Paul George, Zach LaVine led the way. It is kind of weird to see some of these guys not putting up great numbers, but Jaden Hardy, 16 points per game. I don't even know if he was really in the rotation, was he? He was not. So the man just came out of no. Wait, or maybe he was. Yeah, he was starting. Okay, so maybe he was starting. Did I just not notice that? Huh. Okay. Well, whatever. Let's see how this is gonna go. So I'm gonna go ahead. Semi-current round against the Pelicans, and we beat them in 7. Okay, they almost came back on us. But we got Russell Westbrook in Phoenix now, so Chris Paul didn't work out, so might as well replace him with Russell Westbrook. The Houston way, right? All right, man. So Phoenix did the same thing. Semi-current round against the Suns, and we beat them in 4 games. Okay, let's go, baby. We're the 5th seed over, or we're the higher seed over the Timberwolves, who are the 5th seed. They have a pretty nice squad. Semi-current round. And we beat them in 5 when they beat finals, bro. Zion, Jaylen Brown, Winslow, Tatum, Robert. Dude, we beat this team, right? We beat this team. Let's go, baby. We brought a championship to Houston, and Pukovsky was the finals MVP. 16 points per game, man. Wow, okay. John Wall and Demarcus Cousins are going to be the saviors of the Rockets. Mark my words. But for now, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like. It's Crushables saying peace.